Alright, so today I'm excited to have been given the opportunity to review the voltson Wi-Fi smart outlet from Etekcity. This is the 2-pack, model number ESW01-USA. Comes in your standard brown packaging. On the back, it says the voltson smart Wi-Fi outlet can be used from a wireless distance between 98 and 164 feet. And it can work with Android 4.0 or higher and iOS 7.0 or higher for iPhones. The voltson Wi-Fi outlet can support a maximum power of 1000 watts at 8 amps and takes your standard 120 volt power source. Now inside the box you get with your purchase 2 individually wrapped outlets. You can see the Etekcity logo on the top. It alternates between a gloss outer ring finish with more of a matte finish in here, which I imagine when you're plugging in cords, a gloss finish would scratch up pretty easily. Looks like we have a spot here for an indicator light, and this would appear to be a manual on-off switch. We have a grounded plug here, which is great because it lets you use obviously grounded appliances. And we have QR codes for setting up Android and iOS devices. Also included in the box, we have the Etekcity voltson smart Wi-Fi outlet instructions. Again, model number ESW01-USA. So this is the quick setup guide. So when I was doing research for smart plugs, one of my main considerations was how bulky these things actually are compared to a normal outlet. And as you can see, the Etekcity is about 2¼ inches wide and 1¼ inch deep. And just to give some perspective, I also own TP Link smart plugs, and here they are side by side. As you can see, the Etekcity goes with a circular form factor, whereas the TP Link goes with a rectangular form factor. The TP Link is actually obviously wider, given that it's a rectangular shape. It's also a little bit deeper. So if clearance from the wall or to your next plug is a consideration, the form factor might be something to consider. The location of the buttons might be an important consideration depending on how accessible your plug is. If it's accessible from the front, the Etekcity having the button on the bottom will make that more convenient, whereas if it's more side accessible, the TP Link's side design might be a better option. But both plugs so far look aesthetically pretty pleasing. So now let's plug in and set up this Etekcity voltson outlet. Alright, now to set up the Etekcity smart plug, we head over to the Apple App Store and go and look for the vsync or vsync app from Etekcity. And once that installs, we click on Open, which launches the vsync application. I'm going to allow it to send me notifications. And this is where you need to log in or sign up. I have an Etekcity scale that's within this vsync ecosystem, so I'm just going to log in. So now we'll click on Start Setup and hold down on the power button for 5 seconds until the light goes purple. Now that we're in purple mode, we can go to the next screen on the vsync app, fill in your Wi-Fi name and password, and click on Join Network. Alright, now that it's connected, we're being prompted to give it a name. We'll call that Etekcity Plug 1. So now it tells us that the smart outlet is now set up. Now let's see if the app turns it on and off. Hey, there we go. So now let's try a test with the device. So I've shut off most of the lights in the room, and I've plugged in one of the camera lights here to test out the Etekcity plug. And I'm just going to tap on the on and off. So a cool feature you get with the Etekcity plug that I do not get with my standard TP Link plug is live power consumption. It shows you your current voltage and current power consumption right there in the app. Outside of the live power consumption in the Etekcity app, you have the option to schedule, set timers, or set away modes. Inside the schedule, you can create a schedule, setting both on and off times. You can set a timer. And you can also set an away mode. The away mode will give the appearance that you're still home when you're not. So that allows you to set a very simple start and end timer as well as a repeat. So this way, if you're going on vacation or something and you have like a light that you'd like to turn on that's near a window to pretend like you're home, you can do that here. Now as far as setting up Alexa to work with your Etekcity plug, you just go ahead and open up your Alexa app, go to Skills and Games, search for the Etekcity outlet. You'll set up vsync. As you can see, I already have it enabled. And then you just do that and link that up to your vsync account. Once you've set up the vsync skill with Alexa, you can then discover devices, and it should show up down inside your smart home area. So the plug is currently on, and if I go in the Alexa app and touch the icon, that shut it off, and it did. And I can turn it back on. So at this point it means it is enabled with Alexa, who I can now issue voice commands for. Alexa, turn off the camera light.
Okay.
Alexa, turn on the camera light.
Okay.
When you're dealing with a horizontally oriented surge strip, both the circular form factor of the Etekcity and the horizontal form factor of the TP Link don't offer any advantages. They both cover about 3 outlets. You burn 3 outlets in both cases. Now on a standard wall plug or receptacle, the Etekcity circular design won't block the plug above it, but there's not going to be a way to plug both into the same outlet. The circular design won't allow for that. The advantage of the rectangular design that something like the TP Link HS105 has is that you could actually fit 2 of these devices into the same outlet if you need something like that. So given that these smart plugs are supposed to save you money, I wanted to see how much extra electricity they use just sitting there in standby mode. So I have the voltson from Etekcity here and the TP Link HS105. I'm going to connect it to this kilowatt energy meter here to see how much standby power they're going to consume. And then once the Etekcity finishes booting, it seems to settle into this rhythm where it takes about 0.3 watts down to 0 and sometimes up to 0.4. Alexa, turn on the camera light.
Okay.
With nothing plugged in but the outlet on or energized, the energy usage goes up to about 0.8. Alexa, turn the camera light off.
Okay.
And with the plug off and in standby mode, it alternates between 0.3 and looks like almost no watts of usage. So now let's try the TP Link connected to the kilowatt. The TP Link plug seems to fluctuate between 0.3 and 0.5 watt when in off mode, but overall it seems to be trending maybe 0.1 to 0.2 watts higher when in off. Alexa, turn on the coffee.
Okay.
So now with the plug on, the usage climbed up to 0.9, 0.8, and now 1 watt. So it looks like the Etekcity Smart Plug comes out the winner here with slightly less overall power consumption. Having now reviewed the HS105 plug from TP Link and the Etekcity ESW01, I can say they both make great smart Wi-Fi outlets. Both will work over your Wi-Fi and integrate with Alexa. Both have nice iPhone apps. However, the lower standby power consumption and the voltson energy monitoring of the Etekcity outlet make it the better value overall. I hope you found this smart plug comparison review helpful. If you did, please leave a like below and consider subscribing to my channel for more. Thank you.